Hello and welcome to another reading. Let's go ahead and see what is reflecting back in your auric field to help you on your highest path. All right, let's go ahead and see what your protagonist energy is today. Okay. What may be overlaying or what is a situation that you're experiencing at this time? Thank you. What may we see about the past as well as the immediate future at this time? Ooh, okay. Interesting. All right, what might be laying just under the surface, ready to emerge in your consciousness as well as what is currently there? Thank you. Ooh, that's a big chunk. We'll go ahead and take it. All right, let's go ahead and build out the staff here on the side. So what may be some advice for you? Thank you. External environment influences. Okay. Hopes and fears. Okay. And outcome, please. Ooh. Okay. Seemed like both of these wanted to come out. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here. So we see the Two of Swords along with the Lover's card in reverse. So this indicates to me that there's a lot going on in your mind where you're trying to make a decision here. And it seems like the decision may be related to this experience that you had with another energy source. So this could be related to another person, an environment, even these conflicting parts within yourself. Whatever this might be, it seems like you've been really wanting to make a decision there, but it's been really difficult to. And since the Two of Swords is of the element of air, this signals to me that a lot of what's been difficult is of the mind for you. So maybe there's been a lot of overthinking, of overanalyzing, trying to break things down, so much so that it feels like you're kind of moving away from your sense of intuition and your inner sense of knowing. I'm also getting the sense that you might be reaching out to other people to try to get their opinions on what to do, instead of, again, returning to your center and hearing from your intuition, your highest self, and whatever ways that you like to connect with a higher sense of meaning that potentially more accurately share with you what it is that you're wanting to do or needing to do that is in alignment for you. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and take a look at what is overlaying. Okay, we have the Knight of Cups. This signals to me that there is an emotional theme present for you in your life. With this being the Knight of Cups, this suggests that this cycle that you have been navigating in the realm of water, that you're kind of further along in it. So this may be related to some of those deeper feelings around, shame or guilt, worthiness, whatever it might be. It seems as though you've already kind of went through that excavation of what that is, dissecting it, analyzing it, understanding what it is. And you've taken that insight and you've started this journey on like, how do I apply this? So you've already passed the stage of the page, right? Where it's like, oh, I have this new insight. I'm going to take this new adventure. I'm going to live this new life. You already stepped into knighthood in the sense of like, okay, I'm going to take this and really take it far. See how far I can take this into my life so that I can fully integrate it. So it seems like this is finding you at that time where you're really trying to do your due diligence in really integrating these lessons that you've gleaned related to this cycle, related to emotions. When we look at the signifier of the past, there's this overlay of the embodiment of earth. So it seems as though what is helping you on this journey, maybe what's kind of fueling this desire to like really integrate, is wanting to experience this stretch of wealth in your life, recognizing that this abundance is readily available to you. And it sounds like you're really wanting to make that happen, which tapping into the water realm is such an incredible way and such a courageous way of doing that. We see in your immediate future a similar band here of being of service. It's interesting because whenever I see the Six of Cups, it makes me think of the sixth house and like Virgo energy, which is interesting because this is, like a water element card, but it just feels like that. It feels like an act of service. It feels like nostalgia. It feels like a return to roots on like, okay, I have this overflow, I have this abundance, and I'm going to go ahead and share some of this with other people. I'm going to share these beautiful cups with flowers, these bouquets with other people in my life. And it sounds like you'll be able to do that thanks to the work that you're doing. So let's go ahead and take a look at what might be on your mind at this time. Wow, another six, the Six of Pentacles. So this also feels like an act of service, but then also it's this exchange, right? It's this reminder that there is an exchange. There's this giving and this receiving. And it doesn't necessarily have to be with that same person in the exact same way. Like even though this is like an earthly card, to me, this feels very much like an energy exchange, and remembering that there's always a sense of balance here. So this is something that maybe you're thinking about is like, what does this exchange look like for me in my life based on the environments I'm in, the relationships I'm in, as well as the relationship that I have with myself or that you have with yourself. But we also see the Moon card. So how interesting. There's like this sense of, and maybe this is related to this current like night quest that you're on. And again, with the Two of Swords being really lost in the mind, it seems like you might be really lost in a mixture, this blend of water and the mind. Because even as you look at the expression of this Moon card, it seems like the expression is like under distress, but the eyes are closed, right? So it almost makes me think of like having a bad dream or a nightmare, or like being so deep in thought, so deep in contemplation that like nobody else can reach you right now. Nobody else can kind of get through to you. And that's because you're meant to, travel these depths and come back up. But it seems like you're getting the call to come back up. And what might be kind of making it hard to re-emerge from the depths of this deep contemplation and this deep analysis that you're engaging in is not feeling well rested. And because this is in your consciousness, that signals to me that you're already thinking about this. That's the thing. These are things that you're already thinking about. Like, how do I engage in more of a balance? How do I get more rest and make sure that I'm being taken care of, that my needs are being taken care of, and that I'm not just pouring out into everyone else and not receiving myself. And I'm being called to also name too, right? Like there are ways that we could engage in this dynamic that might be posing barriers for us receiving from other people, whether that's our own skepticism, our own hypervigilance, distrust, our own past traumas that can make it really difficult to receive from another person. So with this deep contemplation, you might also be wondering about that and like reflecting on like, how do I contribute to this dynamic that's playing out in my life in all of these different ways? Like how can I better improve this so that I can receive and so that I can hold these blessings that are coming in? What will be moving more towards your consciousness is, wow, yeah. Oh, I feel myself getting a little emotional with this. It's like, like, why is it so hard to celebrate? Why is it so hard to celebrate what I've accomplished so far? Like, I really need this. So maybe it's like noticing the absence of really pausing to celebrate how far you've come. Not just like in the material realm, but with these cups, it's of the emotional realm, of recognizing that when you do this deep emotional work, you're healing so much far beyond just yourself. And the element of water is so deeply tied to psychic energy that every time that you move through this like alchemy process, you're getting more and more in touch with your intuition. You're getting more sensitive to that voice, to those messages, to be able to channel what it is that you're meant to know at this time to help you on your highest path. And so it seems as though once you kind of work through what it is on your mind right now and really lean more into rest, really lean more into balance and start to re-emerge from this deep dive, then you'll be able to have room to really kind of break down like, oh, snap, like, yeah, I haven't been celebrating myself. And maybe too with this deep dive, there may have felt like, why aren't other people celebrating me? But this is also an invitation to pause and look at, okay, why am I not celebrating me? And it sounds like once this kind of emerges more in your consciousness, like once there's room, because you're already working through a lot, but once there's room and there's a little bit more, space for it, it sounds like you'll be able to really process this and elevate to the next level. Probably elevate into the Queen of Cups energy, that embodiment of water. And then being able to turn this into the upright so that you can really celebrate yourself and what you've accomplished, because it's a big deal. It really is. Doing this deep dive, doing this deep work is a huge deal for so many reasons. And I feel like I just keep repeating myself, but you're not just doing this for you. You're doing this for so many, whether it's like versions of you, people in your lineage, for the collective, ultimately. Like, this is really important work that you're doing, and I really hope that you do get to be in that space where you get to feel celebrated, because you deserve that. When we look at the advice card, Page of Cups in the reverse. So typically in the upright, this would feel like, oh yeah, like I caught a fish. Like, oh, look at this wisdom that I've gleaned from my cycle of like 1 through 10 of the element of water. And now let me take this and run with it. Let me prepare for my journey, and it's like a very optimistic card. And it's very like this youthful energy. It doesn't necessarily have to be youthful in numerical age, but more of youthful in the cycle, like more of youthful in this insight and implementing what you have gleaned from that travel. So with all that you are unpacking within yourself, this in the reverse is suggesting to kind of pause for a moment before you jump into the next step, which makes a lot of sense, especially with this 4 of Swords card here, because this is signaling that you haven't gotten to really pause. And so this is telling you that this could be a good opportunity to pause, as you're engaging in this work, and even after. When we get to pause, especially after doing such incredible deep work, it allows us to further integrate, because it allows us to digest. And related to that, it allows our nervous system to kind of return to baseline. It allows it to regulate so that we can enter into that rest and digest process. So it sounds like that's guidance for you at this time. Something in your external environment that may be impacting you is, the Seven of Swords in reverse. So it may be like you noticing that there's this desire to want to really change things for the better and really prevent injustices from happening. However, it seems like there's a lot of stuckness. Like, how can I do this? Is that possible? So immediately my mind is going to a lot of like world events or political events. And regardless of what political affiliation you have or what stance you take on whatever matter is happening in the globe at this time, there's undoubtedly a lot of pressure and a lot of stress that so many of us are experiencing at this time. And it makes me wonder if this might be related to the age of Aquarius or other transits that are happening at this time. Regardless, it seems like you're noticing like, there's like a lot of this energy of wanting to shift things to move towards the better, but it just feels like there's a lot of resistance to that right now. And that might be adding to some of that restlessness that you might be struggling with at this time. Hopes and fears. Wow. Okay. So the Judgment card, it feels like a big indicator of divine timing. I mean, this is a major arcana and it's in the overlay, which signals like, there's this really big theme here of wondering how divine timing might be playing out in your life at this time. Like, when are things going to start shifting, or when are things going to unfold the way that you anticipate that they will unfold? Especially with this kind of like in that overlay position, you may be experiencing the whole spectrum or several aspects of the spectrum of what this card may bring into your life. So it seems like this may be a big area of focus for you at this time. Really thinking through, like, how do I understand the divine balancing of what occurs in this plane and also above this plane, right? So it's like trying to see things from a higher perspective, but then also kind of undulating between a higher perspective as well as your very human nature, and trying to understand, like, what is this divine timing? How do I continue to hold faith in what I feel deep down is true, but it's kind of hard to have tangible evidence for? And it seems like maybe this resistance to things improving in the way that you really would like them to be, or the way that you would really like them to, it seems like it's kind of not necessarily testing your faith, but it's really prompting you to examine, like, what does my faith mean? And when we start to unpack that, hopes and fears sprinkled all over it. Because, when it comes to faith, like, a lot of it is based off of, like, the sense of knowing or feeling or sensation versus like concrete evidence, right? So man, deep contemplation. Let's go ahead and take a look at your outcome energy. Wow. Okay, so outcome is very blessed. I mean, here is the embodiment of the moon energy, as well as of the psychic. So this is like the ultimate embodiment of spiritual knowledge and deep connection with a higher power for you. So you going through this whole process, it looks like you're really going to land in this place of like being so tapped in to where you are going to experience that divine stream of knowledge, of insight, and the remembrance that you are protected, that you are divinely guided, and that your path is laid in gold. With the Six of Wands in the reverse, though, it seems like this is floating around in your orbit, and it will move into the upright eventually. But right now, there's a little bit of resistance to it collapsing into your reality. And again, this is the outcome energy. So by the time you get to this place where you are really tapped in, that's when you'll start to experience that divine stream of knowledge that you're meant to know at this time. And once you start receiving that, opening yourself up to that, and applying that knowledge, and again, pausing to allow that to digest too before application, that seems as though that is when you'll know what to do. And that is when you can start moving into a space of really feeling seen, loved on, and nourished by those around you. That is really beautiful energy. Let's go ahead and take a look at what energies that you can tap into to really support you during this heavy work that you're doing. I'm gonna do one more shuffle. Oh, I didn't anticipate that. I thought I was gonna have to split the deck. Okay, so it looks like we have 3 cards here for you. We have number 9, the support card. Beautiful. I mean, we were asking what supports are available to you. We also have 39, so another 9, perhaps 999 is a significant number for you. But we have passion of the lion heart. Ooh, immediately makes me think of Leo energy and the courage associated with that. And then we have 37, her eye ever open. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and take a look at what messages are here for you. So number 9, support, page 58, landed on 82. We bring you the gift of support. Our support is available to you on all levels. We offer spiritual support of inspired ideas, unconditional love, and divine energy. We offer psychological support as we assist you in upgrading your belief systems to ones that enhance your ability to fulfill your divine destiny. We offer emotional support through spiritual friendship, unconditional acceptance, and unlimited compassion. We offer physical support by providing for your material needs for nourishment, shelter, security, and safety. We are able to support you with peace and with prosperity in subtle and very practical ways. Notice how much easier it is to live your life with courage when you know that no matter what, you shall be provided for, and what you need is only ever a prayer away. What a beautiful invitation to again slow down, tap in, and have a conversation with your guides, your spirit team, higher self, whoever it may be, a passed on ancestor, loved one, God, universe, whatever word or language that you use. This is a beautiful opportunity to lean into that connection for support. You are being offered safety and stability at this time as you navigate all of this deep work. Also, they mention the word courage, just like how we talked about here. So let's go ahead and take a look at number 39. This is page 177, landed on 158. We bring you the empowerment of passion of the lion heart. Through passion, you will dedicate yourself with an intensity and discipline that may surprise you. Passion is love activated. It is energy that moves you from within and empowers you to act in the world in ways you would not otherwise dare to even consider. Passion gives you strength, plugs you into the eternal energy of sacred fire, and generates the ability to accomplish tasks you once may not have believed possible. With great passion, there can be great pain. The heart that loves wild and open is also the heart that can feel disappointment and doubt most keenly. The empowerment of the lion heart strengthens your heart to recover from any pain through the power of courage, commitment, and bold, loving devotion to what matters most to you. This feels like a divine strengthening of your heart space. How incredible. Let's take a look at number 37. Page 170, landed on 176. We bring you the empowerment of her eye ever open. The divine protection around you is absolute and complete. Your simple request for the Universal Mother to watch out for you and to protect what has meaning for you allows you to live your life, do your work, and know the most powerful one is caring for your well-being on all levels. You can trust, be free from worry, and remain open to the world with joy in your heart. Oh my gosh. All three of these feel so deeply connected. I mean, you have so much support, stability, protection, and these messages across that it's okay to have your heart open. It's okay to do this deep work because you're protected, and it takes courage to do things that are scary. Thank you so much for doing this work for not only yourself, but also for all the versions of you across the quantum. Your lineage, both physical and ethereal, for myself and ultimately the collective. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.